Welcome to Cyber Talks by Devoteam, talks that go beyond the buzzwords to what really matters in cyber. Today's topic is at the heart of modern digital security, the identity crisis, identity access management in the age of zero trust. With digital perimeters vanishing and threats moving closer to the core of our systems, identity is now on the new front line. To help us navigate this critical domain, I'm joined by Aiert Azueta, Director of Devoteam Cyber Trust Spain and Global Head of Identity and Access Management for the group. Aiert has over a decade leading cybersecurity strategy, business transformation, IAM innovation across Europe. Aiert combines the vision of a founder with the precision of a technologist. He scaled Be Clever into a key player before integrating into Devoteam and now drives IAM strategy across regions. So in this episode, we will explore how IAM is more urgent than ever, how zero trust is redefining access control, the risks of weak authentication, and the role of AI in identity verification and fraud prevention. Very welcome, Aiert.
Thanks for having me, Rui. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's my pleasure, Aiert. Thanks for joining. So maybe we can start by trying to understand what is, in fact, identity and access management and why is it a top cybersecurity priority today?
Yeah, I mean, since in the last years, identity and access management has come to the stage, let's say. I mean, until now, we had the security based in the perimeter. We have seen in the last years that that's not enough. I mean, we have moved from a situation where we were everybody in the offices. We were working with the PCs that the company would provide us inside the network. That has changed dramatically. And nowadays, the people we are working from home, as we are at the moment, we work with our own devices, and we are using applications which are based on the company's infrastructure, in the cloud infrastructure, or even third-party applications. So the network is not enough anymore. At the moment, we are facing a situation where identity has become the key piece that we need to make sure that we have secure enough in order to make sure that our companies are safe. And we are seeing this in our day by day, right? I mean, we are seeing that security is key. So identity is one of the main assets that we are facing every day. We are seeing that the different regulations and all that are making a strong key in identity as well. And of course, business continuity, business efficiency is also another key point why identity and access management is really key today.
Great. Yeah, in fact, I agree with you. That's one of the situations in which maybe, let's imagine a CISO that implemented everything that they could a few years ago, and now he thought that he would be enjoying a bit of relaxment, and then suddenly everything changes and he needs to put his hands on the job again, right? And identity and access management is really at the core of this transformation that cybersecurity industry is doing nowadays. One of the topics is effectively the shift from passwords to passkeys. Where is the authentication heading? Where do you believe that authentication is heading nowadays?
Yeah, when we are speaking about passwords, I remember some time ago where nobody wanted to use passwords. Do you remember? Really? You're old enough to remember that, you know?
I remember the times where the board and the presidents or the VPs of the companies would complain saying, what is this? I can't work like this. I need to have all these policies or whatever.
Exactly. So we have already seen a shift there some years ago where nobody had a password, and then we needed to start using a username, a password, and what in the end it happened was that we were using the same password for everything. I mean, any account we had within a company, even in our own lives and personal lives, was the same password. And of course, what we have seen lately has been a shift there that we need to improve those security measures, where initially were met by the password, but it's not enough anymore. So we started to add some new mechanisms like multi-factor authentication, single sign-on, etc. And we have seen that still we need to continue, we need to evolve. Why? Because the attackers are evolving themselves as well. So we need to take some steps further there. Passkeys are a new step in order to improve our security posture, but it's just a step. The future will not be passkeys at all. I mean, with the technology we have at the moment, passkeys is a good approach to improve our security posture, but in the future we will be speaking about adaptive security authentication, where depending where we are, which device we are connecting, which network we are connecting to, we will see different approaches there to ask passwords or not, to ask different kind of authentication methods or mechanisms, etc. we will be speaking about behavior, how we behave, how we write, how we move ourselves, how we speak in order to authenticate as well. Let me explain a situation that I lived some years ago. It was like, I don't know, 6 years ago. I visited a company, a customer, where they were willing to look for biometric authentication. And when speaking about biometric, we were speaking about facial recognition, and we were speaking about voice recognition as well. This is 5 or 6 years ago, okay? At that time, we're seeing that was the future, but now we see that that situation is totally different now.
Yeah.
Why? Because with artificial intelligence mainly, attackers can just supplant our face, our voice, anything. So what's going to happen is that all these new methods of our authentication will be combined in a multimodal authentication process where we will be seeing fingerprints, we'll be seeing our face, we'll be seeing our voice, we'll be seeing different kind of methods in order to authenticate. But key here will be also that technology needs to help. Technology needs to help in order to be able to make sure that we are not committing fraud. We need to detect when these kind of situations are happening. So we will be seeing a big shift in the next years in this sense, because we need to be ahead of the attackers as always, right? So passkeys are fine today, but tomorrow we will see something totally different, and we will be evolving more from a static view that we have at the moment to a more continuous way of monitoring ourselves, our authentication methods, and the new technology will be coming.
I definitely agree. In fact, in simple words, a few years ago, it was enough for a system or someone to believe that you are Aiert because you knew something, and that thing was the password. Nowadays, to prove that you are Aiert, you need to do much more than just to say, I know something. It's the password. That's not enough. You need to prove that you are Aiert. And even after you prove that you are Aiert, what you're saying is your behavior will be monitored to check if you are behaving as Aiert usually behaves. And if there is no pattern yet, then companies will even be more cautious in the beginning to create your pattern of move. So this is a drastic change from the times where things were as simple as I know the password, so I'm Aiert, so it's a huge change, isn't it?
Exactly. You're totally right there.
Yeah. And I'm sure that the mindset of a buzzword that is used many times is zero trust. I'm sure that this mindset is also helping to channel the right priorities and the right energy for the security of digital identities, right? What is this about the concept of zero trust, and how do you feel that it contributes for the mindset, for the strategic mindset around the topic?
Yeah, I mean, zero trust is not a combination of words on itself. It's not a technology. It's a new security architecture on itself. Yeah, right. In this case, we need to change our minds. We need to shift. We were speaking previously how in the past we just had a network, we had a firewall, whatever, and with that we were kind of secure. Now, with the new situation that we have nowadays, with bring your own device, everything in the cloud, etc., we have just said that identity is the new perimeter, let's say, and the zero trust. What makes sure that is that identity is the focal point in security, is the cornerstone on which we will be lying in order to secure everything else. And the idea here is to, of course, understand that we need to implement security measures, but with an approach where we will never trust. We will always try to verify. Whoever connects to an application, logs into application, we need to make sure that is whoever who says to be, with different authentication methods, user password, MFA, whatever. But we need to understand that is whoever who says to be. Then we need to always verify. This is a key piece here. When we're speaking about always verify, it's not just do that verification whenever I am logging in. It's also about, just in case I am doing in this application something with excessive rights, I need to verify again. Regarding the future, it's about making sure that whatever I do, those patterns that you were just saying, always follow a verification afterwards that makes sure that I'm still myself who is doing the work with these applications, right? So this continuous verification is really key in any zero trust initiative. But there are 2 points as well in a zero trust initiative which are really important as well. One would be that we need to make sure that we are also enforcing a least privilege approach. When we're speaking about identity and access management, least privilege is really key. It doesn't make sense that you authenticate whoever, you let Rui, for example, coming into any application that is using and all that, if Rui can do anything in that application. I mean,
Yeah.
yourself, you will need to have some rights in order to do your work. But we need to make sure that you don't have excessive rights. Why? Because if anybody supplants your identity, they cannot steal whatever information they want to, just the one that you have access to. Okay, so this least privilege approach is also key in any identity and access management initiative, and of course, Zero Trust takes a lot of care on that as well. And finally, I would be speaking about making sure that we are aware that the breach will happen. So we need to assume that we have a breach. That's why this continuous verification is key. In order to make sure every time that we will be verifying that it's myself, Aiert, who's doing whatever I need to do, and this way I will be more secure because I will be all the time checking, right? So Zero Trust is a broader initiative. It's not only about identity, but identity is the centerpiece where we need to make a lot of efforts in order to make sure that we have a correct cybersecurity strategy in our companies.
Great. It's a very interesting concept, definitely. And it's also very much related to resilience, because that's what resilience is about. You know, when you were talking, it reminds me a very classic example is if you have access to a collective garage where you park your car,
yes.
Once you open the main door, you can access all the cars. And what you're saying is, despite you've got access to the collective garage, we will guarantee that you can just circulate and access your car and not the other cars that are in the garage. So that's the mindset that it came to my mind when you explained Zero Trust. Great stuff.
I will take that example for me.
Historically, many of the incidents in cybersecurity arise from the insider threats. And sometimes it's not that the privileged access users are wrong employees. Sometimes it's because someone stole their credentials, because these credentials are juicy, mainly because they've got privileged access. So what are the challenges in managing also privileged access and insider threats into the domain of digital identity?
Yeah, when we were speaking about least privilege, now we are giving another step, right? I mean, we were speaking about what permissions I have in an application as a normal user, but of course we have all those administration users which can do anything they want. They can access to all the information in our applications, in our databases, in our servers. So it's really key to secure this kind of accounts in our companies. Have in mind also that usually, and this is something that I always see, I mean, whenever I go to a customer and we're speaking about this, they always say, no, we have a good inventory of all our applications, servers, etc. We know which accounts we have in each of them, and we know that we are really secure in this sense. I always tell them, I don't believe you. Why? Because
experience.
Exactly. I mean, whenever we see this kind of customers, we always tell them, give us a couple of hours. Just a couple of hours. You don't need any more. Let us install this little agent to understand and to discover if that's true, if what you're saying is true. You always discover so many servers that they don't have inventory of them in so many accounts, which they believe that don't have privilege rights, and we demonstrate then that they do have, that it's something that it's really key in order to make them understand that they are not as secure as they thought. Because many times, ignorance, and not on the bad way, I mean, we always have things that we don't know. It's really risky in this sense. So when we are speaking about privileged access, we always need to have in mind that it's not easy to have all the information, all the inventory of what we have in order of servers, applications, privileged accounts in order to access them, etc. Okay?
Yeah.
So we always try to make them understand security is key here. We need to understand that your infrastructure is complex. We need to have a real vision, a real view of what we have from a privileged access point of view. And another important thing is the credential sprawl. I mean, we see many times administrators to use the same passwords for different accounts, sharing those accounts between different administrators. I mean, if you have an attacker, you won't know where it comes from. So with the privilege and access management posture, the good thing here is that we will be able to secure all those accounts, centralize them in a vault where they will be protected and nobody will know those passwords. This way, we will be able to protect them as well as possible. And the good thing here is that if we want to do another step there is why have those accounts? Why not create them just when they are needed? And I'm not speaking about enabling them or disabling them. I'm just speaking about creating them. I will have as clean as possible all that infrastructure applications or whatever. I will create just when I need it, and I will delete those accounts whenever I don't. That's the real way to improve our security posture. And the good thing here is that we need to do all this, giving sessions to administrators so they can connect, but those sessions should be monitored, and those sessions should be audited of what commands are being entered. We should analyze the behavior of how they are being used. In this case, what I'm speaking about is if we have a pattern of navigating a way, we need to detect that. Detect also if I'm connecting from Madrid today at 5:30, and in 1 hour I'm connecting from Shanghai. There's no way to do that. So I need to detect all those kind of situations where I will take some measures. For example, eliminating the accounts that are being used, switching passwords, whatever. So it's really important to make sure that all the access to my privileged accounts is secured. And not only for external attackers, but also for inside. Why? Because here we have the human factor, which many times we don't know how these insiders, if they are happy in the company, if they are not, if there's some kind of money in the middle, so they can get some information from our company, sell it, etc. So it's as important to protect ourselves from the external attackers, but also from our internal people. And this is not about trust or not trust, it's about security.
Of course, definitely.
So it's important to do all these steps just for ourselves as well.
Of course. It's great to see how technology has evolved because, I don't know, a couple of years ago when you used to look at the ISO 27001 control list, there were so many stuff that you should do, but was so hard to implement it. Nowadays, technology effectively supports the implementation of these kind of good practices. So that's great. You know, there is no episode without two magic letters, AI. So I also need to introduce AI everywhere, right? Do you feel impact, and is AI transforming identity verification and fraud prevention? I'm sure that it is. I would like to hear a bit from you about that.
Yeah. I mean, you said it. I mean, identity verification and fraud. Artificial intelligence, we need to understand that it's really key piece for cybersecurity at the moment, for the good and for the bad, but both of them. But it's here. Everybody's using it. The attackers are using it. Ourselves, from a security perspective, or the good ones, are using it as well. And the important thing here is that we need to be in advance of the attackers. Artificial intelligence helps. Artificial intelligence helps in order to verify a huge amount of information really fast. Artificial intelligence makes sure that we can improve our detection mechanisms. When in the example I put just a few minutes ago, where I was speaking about facial
recognition,
biometrics, artificial intelligence can replicate that, but also can identify that sooner than ourselves. You know, so having in mind that we have it in our lives, we need to use it for the good thing, and we need to be able to leverage on artificial intelligence to take care of all the measures that are really important to make sure that our security posture is important. And here, the behavioral that we were speaking about, how I move the mouse, how I type, need to introduce all these things as well. We were speaking with the Zero Trust initiatives, because everything is linked in reality. We were speaking about how we need to make sure that we have this continuous verification. Artificial intelligence will help there as well. Artificial intelligence will help us analyze the network much faster, what events are happening in our network, which connections we have from the outside. It's really important to make sure that we use it correctly. And here we need to have in mind that technology that we are already using uses artificial intelligence, and we need to take care of that, and we need to take advantage of that, but also we need to secure artificial intelligence itself. I mean, we are using generative AI, we need to secure it as well. So identity is a key part on that as well.
Yeah.
So
because AI helps you on one way, is used by attackers in another way, and makes your attack surface larger as well. So it's a double challenge, definitely.
Exactly.
What about regulatory pressure? We know that there is a huge regulatory pressure, mainly in Europe. This is the topic ongoing at different levels. And with GDPR, NIS2, DORA, etc. How does its relationship with identity access management? Does it help? Does it make lives harder? Do you think digital identity supports the regulation? What do you see about that?
All this regulatory and compliance, they have reshaped how companies approach identity and access management within the companies. It used to be nice to have, now it's mandatory.
Yeah, I agree.
It's completely different now. I mean, all these DORA, NIS2, whatever, they are all speaking about identity. They are all speaking about least privilege. They are all speaking about how we need to make sure that we have the authentication mechanisms. We need to make sure that we have all the reporting on who has access to where, how, when, etc. So it has reshaped all the identity and access, which is for good. I believe it's an opportunity that we have here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do believe it.
What I feel, I don't know if you agree, is that I don't see that these kind of regulations are super innovative, and they couldn't be. What they do is they enforce best practices that in majority they already should be in place. So
exactly.
The ones that were already doing their basic hygiene, they are not almost affected. The ones that were not doing, they've got a bigger gap. And I'm sure that the digital identity technology supports that nowadays, for sure. My last question to you is about people. As you know, Devoteam is a people's organization. We know that there is a lack of competence overall in the world about cybersecurity. What kind of advice would you give to someone that is building a career and likes the identity and access management topic or the digital identity topic? What skills or certifications do you believe that someone that is entering now should focus on?
Yeah. When we are speaking about identity and access management, I mean, with identity and access management, I have always heard, is it security? Is it business? Is it IT? It's the reality, you know?
It's a combination, right?
I always say that it's a mixture of the three of them. It is security, because with this zero trust security architecture, identity is key, so it is security. It is IT. I mean, we are protecting infrastructure, we're protecting our applications, we use technology for that. But the third piece is really important, which is business. IAM is about business. I don't understand identity and access management if it doesn't help improve the business. If it doesn't make the business more efficient. More efficient how? Doing all the processes faster, doing all these processes more secure, and mainly making the company itself more competitive against the competency, etc., etc. When we are speaking about people, it's almost the same. I mean, of course, we need the cybersecurity knowledge. So in these terms, different certifications like CISSP, CISM are important. So you understand the cybersecurity landscape and how we can work to improve our cybersecurity framework. Then we also have some specific certifications, usually dependent on the vendor. Usually here we are speaking about vendor certifications. For example, in privileged access management, the different vendors of privileged access management, they have their own certificates in order to make sure that you get the knowledge that you need in order to implement, administer, or manage any of their solutions. The same for governance and identity solutions, and the same for access management solutions, right? So I would say, first, cybersecurity certifications are important. Second, vendor-specific certifications are also really important. So that's where you get the technical knowledge of each of the technologies that you will be using. And finally, some skills regarding business comprehension is really important as well. Okay, so
Definitely.
You need to be quite close to the business. You need to understand the different business processes. So these skills are also important here.
Definitely, I fully agree, because at the end of the day, you are supporting business applications. And if you want to have granularity on the access control, you need to understand what each one of these functions in the applications do. And I fully agree with your vision that cybersecurity exists to support the business.
Exactly.
It was great to have you here. Time runs out very quickly. Thank you very much for being here today with us. And I also hope that you enjoyed.
My pleasure, really. It was really nice.
Thank you so much, Aiert. Thank you so much.